Hey, welcome to another Excel VBA web automation video. And for today, we will be focusing on how to scrape data from a web page table and send that data table to our workbook or Excel worksheet. So in this example, we will be using this site. I just see someone who have a question like this in Stack Overflow, so I decided why not to create a video to focus only for this type of scenario. So we will try to scrape the data of this table, and I think we can also try to capture the other table that we have in this page. So let's start on this table first. So make sure to open your Excel and then go to Developer and Visual Basic, and we'll start with adding a new module. So let's name it Web Data. And before you get started, go to Tools, Reference, and add two of the most important reference that we need for Excel VBA. So look for Microsoft HTML Object Library and Microsoft Internet Controls. So start on this first table. I will create a procedure, get let's say table 1 or maybe table performance. And let's rename our first worksheet in here, let's say performance. And let me declare that's sheet, my sheet is worksheet. Set my sh is equals to this workbook that sheets performance. Oops. All right. So there are two options to start this automation. The first one is to navigate to this URL and then capture the web data table, or assuming that the second option, the page is already option and you'll just need to capture the web data table. So we'll go on that option, and to do that, let me create an IE variable here. It should be an object, and I'll be creating a for loop for each IE in create object shell that application that windows next IE. If IE is equals to Internet Explorer, and using this for each type of loop, you need to have the website URL or the web page title, and this is too long for me to copy, so let me try to do this first. I want to print all the available document title in my internet browser, so let me delete my immediate window value. Let me try this, and we have one document title in here, so let me just use that and put a condition that if document the title is equals to that title, then exit 4. So it will automatically hold that our object will automatically hold this page at this moment. So let me inspect the table and how we can scrape it. So using my Google browser, uh, right click on the table and click inspect, and you can see here this is the table but doesn't have an ID, so we cannot directly scrape it using the table property. So let me look for the other tag that we can use. Okay, here I see that this table element is under a DIB element with an ID, either performance content, and I think this is unique. This one should be unique, so we will be using this DIB. So double click on that ID value and copy. And now here on our VBA, I'll try to make this code as short as possible. So I think let's declare a table. Should be a HTML table element. And let's say that for each table in the document that get element by ID. So this is the ID of DIB, and then we'll go through that element and loop through all the table within that DIB. So let's follow this code by get elements by tag name table, next table. Right, and wait, I'm not sure how many table do we have on inside this DIB element, so let me check first. Um, Let me put a break on this line. Oops, I should have an F9. Go in here and let me try to get the total number of table we have on that DIB, and we just only have one, so I think I no longer need to put a condition. So at this stage we already have captured the table, so let me just try to print the table at inner text to make sure that we are getting the correct table. So run that. Oops, what happened? Did it run? Yep, you can see in here, but this is not in order. YTD1MO. I think that's the header. So let's inspect that again. Yeah, we have a table header in here, which is that first row. So the first cell is blank. Okay, so I think what we can do is to just simply put the table to our work performance worksheet. So to do that, let's say for each table row in TBL that get elements by tag name tr, next tr, and let's declare a variable that will represent the table row in table cell tr tr counter should be an integer, and the td counter as integer. It should be an integer. So tr counter, it should start at 1, and the td counter should start in 1 as well. So it will go in its direction. And then we also need to loop through each td. So for each td, which is the table cell in tr that get elements by tag name td, next td, and then let's say here that my sh that cells tr counter, the td counter, that value is equals to td dot inner text, and we need to increment the td counter in here. And after the for loop, so need to increment the tr counter in here, and make sure to reset the td counter value is equals to 1. Alright, I think we can try. Let's see. Let's run this. Oops, we receive an error for each td in that elements. It's a wrong spelling. It's at elements. So let's try to run it again. Okay, and we have now the value of our table. Is this what we need to capture? Oh, yep. We're not able to capture the header because we do not have a tr in or a th in here. So let's say, let me delete this value for now. Let's say, for example, that so let's say for each no, yep, for each th in tr.get elements by tag name th next th. So this one is for table header and table cell. So my sh that cells td counter. Oh no, it's a row. So tr counter and td counter that value is equals to th that inner text. I think this one is good. Okay, let me try it. And why we still don't have it? Oh, it's th. Alright, let me check. Why we still don't have that value? I want to see that header in here. So let me use F8 to debug it. Okay, so there's one. The first inner text is blank. Alright. Oh, I forgot to increment the counter. That's why. Let's run it, and there we go. So I think we have it the same with what we have here. Let me check. Oops, let me close this. So YTD 1 month, 1 year, 3 year, 14 and 10 years. Number of funds 81. Alright, it's almost the same. So now I think we can try the next table. So the next table that we have is the top holding page, and let me inspect that. And let's look for the table. We can see that it doesn't have a table as well. So, but we can see here that we have a div element with an ID equity style stub. So I think we can use this table for this one. So let's add another worksheet in here. Let's call it top holdings. I think it's pretty just the same with our first code. So let's say sub get table top holdings. Right. So let me try to do it again from scratch. So we have an IE object and we need to declare our worksheet and set that worksheet to this workbook. that sheets tab holdings. Is that the name that I use? Yep. And then we need to loop through our the document that we have in our Internet Explorer. So HIE in create object shell that application that windows next IE. If IE is equals to Internet Explorer, so make sure that you have an Internet Explorer application open. Then another condition is if IE that document the title is equals to. Now I want to copy this. Alright, copy that in here. Then exit 4. So if that condition is met, the IE object will automatically handle this page. Alright, so let's try to have a different approach. Let me declare a table in here. Table. And now, as we can see here, the element we will be using is the DIB where the table is within. So let's copy this DIB ID. Equity style tab. Copy that. And in here, let's set table is equals to I that document that get elements by of element by ID that get elements by tag name table. Now we'll be using index 0 because there's only one table within that element. So to test that, let's print the value of the table. Okay, let's run it. Oops, we have an error in here. This worksheet tab holdings should be tab holdings, and another error should be application. And we can see in our immediate window that there is a weight number last price. Oops, weight number yeah, we are getting the th or the table header elements. So I think we can now send those value to our tab holding worksheet. So to do that, let's have another counter in here, tr counter as integer, and then td counter as integer. So tr counter we want, so let's for example we'll start at row number 3. We want to put the table starting from row number 3. Say tr counter is equals to 3, and then the td counter, for example, we want to start at column C. We'll also assign number 3, right? So now let's create our loop for each tr in table that get elements by tag name tr next tr. Let me check again that table. We can see here that we have the first tr with our th. So let's start with the th. So for each th in tr that get elements by tag name th or table header next th, and my sh that cells on tr counter and td counter that value is equals to tr dot, oh no, it should be th that inner text. And we need to increment our td counter in here. Right, so this is the first data that we will capture, the table header, and then another for loop for each td. So td are these elements So for each td in tr.get elements, write tag name td next td. And let's say my sh that cells tr counter again, and td counter dot value is equals to td dot inner text. And make sure to increment the td counter. Oops, it should be td counter. And before the next table row, make sure to increment the row number in our worksheet. So tr counter is equals to tr counter plus 1, and reset the td counter should be back to the value of 3. And I think we can now test it. Let me put that here and let's run. Right, so the first cell is blank. That's why we have a, yeah, it's blank. That's why we have a blank value in that cell, but we are still able to capture the table. Let me check that in, let me just compare it. Also, this it's well Fargo. Yep, yep. Wait, 2.69, and it's the same. They charge 0.8. Okay, why? Yeah, it's on the range. Oh, weak range. They charge is 0.8. Oh, why this go to this column? Let me inspect. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With another TR. It's because of this TD. That's why the data goes to the next column cell. So is there a way that we can move that? Let me, I think what we can do is try to debug it. So let me put that in here and here. Let me add a break in here, and I want to print the value of my td that inner text, so I will know uh, where the blank inner text exists. So let me go here. So the first row doesn't have a td element, and okay, I think this is okay. This is the first row. It's Wells Fargo. All right, and 2.69, and the next is 1.8 and negative 0.8, and this is where the blank yep, this is where the blank cell exists, and then the td counter of that cell is 8. So what we can do is to put here an if condition that if td counter is not equals to 8, then we will increment, but if it's equals to 8, then I should not increment our td counter, so that the weak range value will go on the right column. So in here, alright, let me check. Let me see if it's now working. We go back to the worksheet and remove this value. And now let's try to run it. And let's see. Okay, now we have the weak range value on the correct column. So it's the same now with what we have on our web page. So I think you can now capture any table on any web page as long as you can identify a pattern, especially an ID, or if not an ID, you can use an index number. Alright, so well, another thing maybe you may ask as well, that what if you want to navigate to the web page, not just assuming that the page is already open. So let's try. Let me work on my first table. Let me remove the body first, and then in here we need to update our code. So let me remove this and comment that out. Maybe you can use it if IE web page is already open. Now navigate to the web page. So to do that, let's just set I is equals to uh, create object internet Explorer, and IE that visible is equals to true. Then IE that navigate to the URL, and then let's add a delay or to wait for the web page to load completely. So to do that, let's have do while IE that busy is equals to true, do events and loop, and another do until IE that ready state is equals to 4 or ready state complete, and loop. Now we don't have any data on our performance table, so let's see if this code will work the same. So let's try it. Okay, create object in an explorer. Should I add application in here? Yeah, it's navigating to the web page, and is it done? I think so. Let me check. Alright, we did not capture anything, but it's completely. So maybe because as you can see on the site, there is a loading time before the table exists. So let's say that we want to wait for about maybe 5 seconds. So let's say application that wait now plus time value 5 seconds. And let me close this one first. Now let's try it again. Let me have a message box in here. Let's run it, and 5 seconds delay. It says process complete, and we have now the performance data. Alright, so you just only need to do the same on the next table. So just replace this line of codes to this one if you want to navigate to the URL instead of assuming that the page is already open. So that's all that I have for you.